Welcome everyone to Lunchbox TV Review, and today it's a two-man show. I'm Alex, and I'm joined by Lew.
Hello.
And today we're talking about Peacemaker and the penultimate episode, Stop Dragging My Heart Around. Dragon as in the dragon, as in the white dragon. Peacemaker's father is the white dragon, etc. Hope you've been keeping up, because yeah, we're talking about it like you've been watching it for the entire time. But let's start at the beginning. Lew, what did you think?
I actually like the episode. I wouldn't say that it's my favorite episode so far, but there's moments in this thing where they sort of go a certain way, and I'm like, it didn't. It was like there's some points where they're getting too comedic, and I was like, this might not be the right time to do this, but then they switched it at the right time, and yeah. But overall, I did enjoy the episode. What about you?
Yeah, it was good. It did have a few issues. One of them, like what you mentioned, that like I had like a major issue with it in the last episode, at the end, and like this episode sort of suffers from it. We'll get to it once we're in the spoilers, but it did have a beat where they James Gunn, like always, opted for comedy.
Yeah.
And I guess because there are like two sad scenes in the episode, so like one they play serious, and well, then again, let's get to spoilers, because I like it's debatable whether one was serious, because but all right, let's talk about the first act of the episode. Spoilers. We begin with the police are hunting down Peacemaker because he's got the diary that says all about the aliens, so he looks like a big psychopath. So they're gonna arrest him there. On their way to where Morn and company are, and Peacemaker is with Vigilante, and what's the dude's name? Cosmo? No, his name isn't Cosmo. His name is Economos.
Oh yeah.
Right. So Peacemaker's just reminiscing, and he has a flashback to when he was a little boy. He was sort of like pit fighting, forced by his father to pit fight, and he accidentally killed his brother, who he very much loved. And so they revealed that trauma in Peacemaker's past, and I guess it spurns Peacemaker to just like, hey, let's go kill the quote-unquote cow, where the farm of the butterflies, the evil butterflies, let's say. And on their way there in their car, they're rocking out, right? And they are attacked by
what's that thing that they say? There's never a bad time to rock, or something along those lines.
There's it's always a good time to rock out, something like that. It's like, I guess so. It does help. They're attacked by the White Dragon and his clan. It's Peacemaker's racist father trying to kill him for framing him and just being a government lackey, supposedly. And at the same time, Adebayo is with Harcourt and Morn, and the police are about to bust in on them. So, yeah. So yeah, this is your opening. None of the emotional, scenes happen yet. So that's why I want to talk about the opening for now. What did you think?
I thought it was fun. I'm sorry, not fun, but I thought it was a cool set of scenes. I did really like the flashback of Peacemaker and his brother and his father, how he was the one that forced them to fight, and that caused Chris's trauma. And I thought it was a really cool scene because it gives you more of a deeper dive uh, on like what they were before, and it shows that Chris really loved his brother, and his brother was the one that died, unfortunately, and then I guess his father forever just blamed him for that. The rest of the scenes were okay. It was just leading up to certain parts, and yeah. What did you think?
It was okay as far as openings go. We get to the reveal of what happened to Peacemaker's brother, and like it was pretty much expected. Like you figured out Peacemaker had something to do with it, and it wasn't his fault, and it really affected him. And as for the rest of it, it was a nice chase. You had Peacemaker, Vigilante, and Economos getting hunted down by the.
I like that Economos didn't even want to go, but then he was just like, just go. I thought that was a fun scene.
Yeah, he's always being dragged into these things, but yeah, it was a pretty good lead in into the chaos that was the body of the episode. So let's talk about Morn Harcourt and Adebayo. The police have Morn's hotel room or motel room surrounded. They bust in. Morn does his best to protect himself, but he's killed by the butterfly cops, and even Morn's little butterfly thing tries to come out, but he gets squashed and killed. And Harcourt, Adebayo, they don't do anything, but they do enter afterwards and share a sad farewell moment, played completely straight. Although, this is what I was mentioning earlier, like it's straight, but it is like a little weird alien going,
touching.
Right? Yeah. So, like to me, it was touching and sad, but like I could totally get how somebody would be like, they would just laugh, like, oh, it's cute, whatever. But it was touching because ultimately Morn was. It was a fleshed out character, he inhabited the body of a really bad guy, and
he did good with it.
Yeah, exactly, and the motivation in that alien was really strong. So it was, it was sad to see that character go. Now, before I get to Peacemaker and his father, there's a little detour and. Okay, it was Judo Master outside of a variety store, and he's eating his chips. And,
his flaming hot Cheetos.
Yeah, his flaming hot Cheetos. And these two punks, they pass by, call him a leprechaun because he's small, make fun of him. They go in, they come out. Judo Master kicks their asses, just destroys them, takes their chips and their car, and then splits. And then makes his way back to the motel to fight Harcourt and Adebayo, loses the fight. And I suppose that's it.
For now, I guess, right?
Dude, like it's 3 times now. But we'll get to that. So now you skip over to the main point of conflict, the main bit of action, which is the clan's members and the White Dragon, Peacemaker's dad. There's a brouhaha. They're fighting. Economos does his best. He shoots a few of them. Eagly, the eagle, he just mauls the hell out of a few of them too, but is swat away violently by the White Dragon. And this causes Peacemaker to, fight his father, do his best, holds him up at gunpoint, and he does it. He kills his own father, and he's sad. And this is another sad moment, an emotional moment. But this one does come with the backup of humor because you have Vigilante. So he's like, "Oh, you're doing your face exercises," and it undercuts the tension. So yeah, that was one of my complaints from the previous episode, and it kind of repeats here with the father. But it was a touching episode because it was a touching moment because Peacemaker takes control of his life, right? And yeah, so Lew, tell me of those those things that happened, what did you think of all of them?
So first, let's start off with Morn. I that was one scene that I did not expect. Like I didn't expect him to die. I expect him to stay until we get to the cow, because he's kind of a butterfly, and we can see him kind of his revenge thing or whatever, trying to do his good. Um, the second was the so I really like that it was not as funny. They didn't add a lot of humor, just the kind of the cuteness when he was dying and just trying to touch Harcourt's hand. The second one I want to talk about is Judo Master in the convenience store, which is sort of like a out of the blue kind of scene, like it needed to be there, but it was really fun. I like that they added that. It just, and I don't know if it was just like those dudes were really tall, or Judo Master is just really small, because we've seen him fight Peacemaker, and for some reason he looks smaller against those two guys than he was with Peacemaker. So that was just kind of weird with me. And
don't forget,
yeah.
sorry, don't forget that in the musical opening, John Cena is able to fling.
That's true. That's true. Shoulder. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and so then now we move on to the Peacemaker versus his dad. This is like the part of the episode where it kind of cheesed me just a little bit, because there was a point where they were just kind of being silly, like the chase scene and like the comedy that James Gunn usually adds, Economo shooting. That was all fun and games, but the point where it just suddenly kind of changes mood. You had a word for it the last week. I can't remember what. Yeah. It just went from two extremes, and it went to like this extremely funny bit to just this serious kind of thing with Peacemaker and his dad, because it was really serious, because he mentioned it in previous episodes that he still loved his dad. Like his dad is a racist and but he, it's his dad, so he still kind of loves him. I think it did ruin the scene a little bit, because there was just too much of the extreme, and if they just cut out a bit of the humor, I think that would have worked. But yeah, even like parts where you were just mentioning it, what's the name? Vigilante was talking about like his face exercise or whatever. Like at that point, I didn't find it funny anymore. I was just like, come on, just stop. Yeah. So what did you think?
I just want to say on the topic of that scene where he just took it too far. Like it's one thing. It would have been one thing if Vigilante said, "Is like really like now's like a bad time to do your face exercises." Economo says, oh, he's crying, and then you have Vigilante say, "Oh," and put like his hand on Peacemaker's shoulder.
Yeah.
You have you pull out the camera a bit. You get that frame. All three in frame, and then you cut to the next scene. That's fine. But then they had to linger, get some more laughs. It's just you're trying to generate too many laughs out of the same thing. Like take one and then go on. Far be it for me to tell James Gunn how to make his friggin' shows and movies. But I'm just saying how I feel, right? Like it feels kind of weird, but it's like it's too funny. The other thing that happened, the Morn scene I liked. It was probably the highlight of the episode for me, because it was touching. The Harcourt and the Morn butterfly touching. It was very sad. Yeah, I've got no complaints, but I do have one major complaint, and it's what you liked, and it was Judo Master. Judo Master's arc feels like it's done. Like once he got shot, we don't need. I don't hate the character. I think it's cool that like a small guy with the goofy costume flips around, beats up people. But like once Adebayo shot him, it's like okay, he like that's it.
He's become a bit now, and just a random bit. Yeah, exactly.
Like he served his purpose. Economos took him out. Adebayo took him out. I don't even know who else took him out. Oh yeah, Adebayo took him out twice. Okay, sure. we don't need him anymore. We didn't need him in this episode. It was more forced than, you know. I don't want to run Book of Fett or Book of Boba, whatever that show's called. So, but it was like that. But it was unwelcome, right? In the Fett show, it's welcome. Thank God. You know, you're making it better. Like this felt like filler. It felt like, you know, you have bigger fish to fry. It's I don't know. It felt like chasing your own tail. Like, I don't need this. I don't need this. But yeah, that was that. So I'll move on to the end of the episode. They go to the whole team meets at a veterinarian, or no, it's an animal hospital.
Yeah.
Eagly is getting taken care of. Vigilante wants to kill the staff because they saw his face, which is crazy and ridiculous. So the rest of the team have to talk him down from it. And Peacemaker talks to Eagly, or talks to God actually, and prays for Eagly's safety, his well-being. While Adebayo's listening, Eagly wakes up, hugs Peacemaker, which I love. I love the hugs. It's so funny.
Especially, yeah.
Yeah. Peacemaker tries to get the selfie. It's so funny. So Adebayo takes that as a sign to stick around and help the team, you know, against the farm or the cow, but there's still tension between Adebayo and Peacemaker. Peacemaker does say that when this is over, I don't have to see you again, so it doesn't matter. I know you planted that diary. I don't care. All right, so we got that going into the next episode, and they talk Vigilante out of killing everyone. So they're all on their way to the farm to kill the cow. Now, cow is code for the creature that gives them sustenance. You know, the honey thing that they drink. Now. Okay, so the show ends on a closing shot of this huge alien. But before I tell everyone what the alien looks like, Lou, at this point, like in your head, where were you thinking like the cow was gonna be? Because I want to share what I was thinking.
Okay, so knowing that it's James Gunn, my original thought for the cow was like a cow, like an actual just kind of weird alien cow, but. There was two thoughts in this, and then the other thought was like, again, this is James Gunn. He's done a lot of weird stuff. So my second thought was maybe like a bigger version of the butterflies, or just some weird fat butterfly, right? It's not really that, but it's you can now explain what you were thinking about it.
Like my mindset was similar to yours. It was two things. One, it's like, okay, it's James Gunn. So it's going to be weird and out there. And two, it's like it's DC comic, or like it's a DC thing. So it might be some sort of character, kind of like Starro or like that. So it was like, okay, someone we haven't seen in the DC universe, you know, and like it's going to be a cool thing. But because it's James Gunn, it's going to be something big and weird with huge giant tits. And it's a weird thing, huge with big giant tits. Yeah. That's exactly what it was. And like I really wish it didn't show it, because we could have called it. Both of us could have called it right now. It's like, this weird, huge thing with huge knockers. But yeah, conclusion of the episode. What'd you think, Lou?
It was fine. I thought that that part in the animal hospital, like the humor was actually okay. I didn't mind it. I thought it was just funny. Vigilante played it up, and just being Vigilante. And I thought it was really funny, especially when the hug between Eagly and Peacemaker, and he was trying to take a selfie, which is cool because he, I think in previous episodes, Vigilante destroyed his phone, and he said he had like a bunch of pictures of Eagly in there. So he was trying to get that picture, and I guess the little moment with Adebayo and Peacemaker also was all right. Like I wasn't really thinking about it anymore. And yeah, and then I saw the big giant alien with humongous milkies, golden honey milkies. So yeah, what did you think about it?
It's a good lead into the final episode, to the climax. All the pieces are in place. You still have there's still drama there to resolve. At least like the biggest drama is see, I keep wanting to say Cena. Every single time I mention his name, the word Cena comes up first. John Cena.
Same. That's like
Yeah.
every time I say Peacemaker or Chris,
Yeah.
like the first words actually are Cena, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, collect yourself and say Peacemaker or
Yeah.
Cena.
All right. Watch after the show. I'm just going to be calling him Peacemaker instead of
Yeah.
John Cena. Okay, so
Who's that?
right.
Peacemaker.
Yeah. Can't see me. So yeah, the tension between Peacemaker and Adebayo, that's like your one of the big personal dramas in the show. I don't think there's anything else left to be resolved, but Adebayo is like this one big, like a hive of mystery. Like there's a lot of juiciness, not in a sexual way.
Yeah.
About a bio, just story wise, content wise. Like there's this wife who's sort of a mystery, because Michelle mentioned it earlier that her wife is like, there's something going on, there's something weird, and like, yeah, it's true, there is something weird there. It's possible, or it could just be straight, right?
Yeah.
Like just normal. And then Amanda Waller's her mother. That's like, how is that going to come into play? It's going to come into play in a major way. And then like, what's the future of Adebayo in the DC lore, or in the movies? Like, is she going to continue, being an agent, or is she going to go back to animal, vet stuff? So, or animal shelter stuff. So that's really interesting. But as for the rest, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode, and seeing those mommy milkers get shot up. Okay, let's have like a big question. Well, before we wrap up, and I want to ask if in the next episode, are we going to see like a tease or a lead in to the next project, whether it's by James Gunn or it's like the Flash movie or whatever's coming up next from DC?
Yeah, I think so. This apparently, this is gonna be like huge. All the butterflies that are coming. It's great that they got rid of most of the emotional stuff, like between Peacemaker, Adebayo, Peacemaker, and his father, and all that. So now it's kind of all out craziness, the way probably James Gunn would. But I think that it's been guaranteed that there will be a second season for Peacemaker. So I'm thinking that there's going to be somewhat of a lead in to what the next episode, like the main thing for the next, sorry, not next episode, but next season. But I'm not going to rule out anything for the other movies, which is, I think Flash is going to kind of deal with DC's multiverse. So I think there's some, I can't remember the word I'm trying to think of, but there's some shit that's gonna happen that will affect some of those movies, if not in a big way, like a tiny way, like a little Easter egg or whatever. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on the matter.
Man, I asked the questions, but I don't have the answer. I just want to say I don't know, but like, I'm thinking James Gunn does have a tease for like whatever the next project is. Not like it's gonna be, the Shark Man character popping up. No, nothing like that. But
Yeah.
but something like Waller is working on something, and a dossier plops down, and you see some pictures, or like a picture of something. It could be Harley Quinn,
Yeah.
and then we'll know, say, hey, Margot Robbie's coming back. Harley Quinn, could be a Harley Quinn show. I don't know. Something, anything. But I do think there's going to be a tease for the next James Gunn project, because it seems like he's really enjoying DC stuff and comic book stuff in general. So yeah, but as far as like the movie stuff, I can't see it. I can't see it tying into.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, especially considering all the stuff that like Peacemaker's been saying about Aquaman, Batman, and
Batman.
Flash. Yeah. And even Wonder Woman wasn't too nice. Yeah. So that was it. Tell us what you thought as well. If you like the show, what you're thinking is going to happen in the last episode. If you like what you saw, leave a comment, subscribe, follow us on our socials, all over the place, right there. And I'm Alex, and I've been joined by Lew, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peacemaker.
Oh.